And welcome back, you internet plebs, to an all-new episode of the Marvelite podcast. I am your host, Luke, and as always, I am joined with William.
Smoked up from the flow up.
And we have CJ with us.
Can you tell we recorded this on 420?
And we're joined with Nicholas as well.
Yeah, 420, that's new comic day here.
Absolutely. New comic book day? Is that what that means?
It actually is. Yeah, American Alien came out today.
Yeah.
I have to say, I have a friend who was in Denver, Colorado today, and she was posting pictures. For those of you who don't know, there is a certain drug that is legal in the state of Colorado. And so on 420, it's kind of become a thing where people like to gather in the Capitol in Denver and just do that said thing.
Something it's heroin, isn't it?
Well, something just hit me. And in honor of Will, I'd like to try my hand at a patented Will transition here. Can I do it? Can I do it?
Yes.
Speaking of guys that look like they smoke pot, we got our first look at Danny Rand and Iron Fist a couple days ago.
Okay, that wasn't that bad, though. Because it's true. He's wearing a drug rug and everything.
Oh, it had to be worse, because, Will's transitions.
I said in my news video, I was like, he looks like literally, I mean, he doesn't really look like a superhero or like a kung fu master. He kind of looks like a bunch of dudes at my college campus. I've seen a lot of people walk around dressed up like that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, well, since CJ went ahead and did the segue, which, by the way, I have to congratulate you. That was a pretty decent segue.
Thank you.
We did get our first set photos from the Iron Fist Netflix TV show. It looks kind of a little bit like Arrow, I'm not going to lie.
Dude, they're copying Arrow.
Why are they copying Arrow? Why did Arrow copy Castaway?
Someone on Facebook the other day kind of compared the two together, and I was like, oh my god, this literally is like the theme for Arrow. Given I don't think that this is going to be Arrow, Iron Fist, this is my most anticipated Netflix show.
Me too.
Yeah, it'll be worse.
No, I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be worse than Arrow.
That is a mathematical impossibility.
No one is going to top Olicity. No one. No Nothing. TV show ever. Like, you cannot top how terrible that is. Anyways, sorry That's for true. All of you Arrow fans out there. This is talk about Iron Fist.
It only goes downhill from here.
So some of these set photos, it just looks like, definitely. We haven't seen anything from his origin yet, which, they've been kind of vague on this show. We just know that, he has been gone for several years, and he's
At
been
least
on an
10.
island, and he's coming back now. No. I'm assuming that he is coming back from Kunlun, which hopefully they're going that route. Now, one of the things, since they are being so vague on the show, I'm really, really getting a little nervous about this, because they need to handle his origin delicately, especially with how they're going to explain Kunlun. Are they going to go with the more practical route of it's just a city in the mountains, or are they going to go with the route of it's a mystical city in the mountains that disappears for 10 years, and then once in a great while, I believe it's a decade, it comes back for a little bit into this physical plane of existence. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Yeah, go for it.
So here's the thing, before this year, after Daredevil Season 1, I probably would have been solid on it's probably going to be much more practical. It's just going to be a village in the Himalayas. It's really hard to get to. Because Daredevil Season 1 was really pretty gritty and grounded, and then we get to Daredevil Season 2, and they're bringing people back from the dead, and all this insane, crazy shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's still just a village in the Himalayas that's hard to get to, but I do think they're actually going to have the more mystical aspect of the Iron Fist and kind of the dragon, Sholo or whatever his name is, Xiao Lao. I don't know.
No, Mushu.
Mushu. Thanks, Disney, forcing your bullshit on Iron. No, but I wouldn't be shocked if they keep the whole kind of mystical dragon aspect of it. But it depends on how much they feel they can sell it, I guess.
I mean, we already got some nods to Steel Serpent.
Exactly.
So,
he's going to be Arleo Dondar, I think, is all but confirmed.
Yeah.
Just adapt the Iron Fist, the Living Weapon series.
Please, Kerry Cal Andrews is my dude. I love the shit out of that guy. I love the shit out of that run, and that kind of seems like what they're doing. So,
I do have to mention Luke Cage for a minute. Luke Cage is, it's done rapping and everything, and apparently some people have had a chance to see the show, or at least parts of it, and they're saying that it is going to be the Wire of of television, of like the Marvel Netflix shows.
Yeah.
That really gets me hype. Again, Iron Fist is my most anticipated, but I think Luke Cage is probably my most hype show. I love Iron Fist and Luke Cage both, and I'm just stoked to see both of them. I'm very interested to see how they're going to play with each other. Are they going to have that sort of bro chemistry in the Defenders? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, I think, do you guys have any more thoughts on this?
On Luke
Arrow.
Cage or Iron Fist? Arrow.
Do you
For
guys
Luke
have any more
Cage,
thoughts on Arrow?
For Luke Cage, did you guys hear about Arrow? That just sucks. But Luke Cage, did you guys hear that it's going to be scored by a Tribe Called Quest?
No,
No.
Q-Tip's part of it.
Two of the members of a Tribe Called Quest are scoring.
Yeah.
It's not like the whole
Okay.
the whole thing, but
Well, because the
that's
other one
crazy.
died, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's way
R.I.P. Five Dog.
If that's the case, I'm really hoping it's like it's gonna have that tone of the teaser trailer.
Yeah. Is it
really
bad that
hope-
I really wish Tarantino was involved, because Tarantino would have made it like literally like a blaxploitation movie, and it would have been okay.
Yeah, Tarantino's not really a television guy though.
No.
No.
But if
He's
they
more
could-
a
if they could-
cinema guy.
We'll see how
Get
we go.
Robert
He's a
Rodriguez.
Kino guy, but
No, he's more a big guy.
he's a big guy for you.
Yeah, dude. Get Rodriguez. Watch From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. It's fucking lit.
Oh shit. I'm ready.
All right, and
Continue.
moving on to our next topic. It looks like we will be getting a new X-Men Apocalypse trailer here shortly. Now, given the movie doesn't come out that we don't have that much long until the movie comes out.
Yeah, it's actually
you know?
it's actually roughly a month.
5 weeks.
Yeah, it's roughly a month until the movie comes out. So I think they're going to give us one little final shout out to Apocalypse. I don't know. Did you guys see that sort of teaser thing that they did? It was kind of a promo video.
Yeah, it was a viral video. It looked like
In the
a
footsteps of Insabanur.
Yeah, that was really cool
yeah, I saw
marketing. I think that was
Okay.
That was dope.
Can I explain to you like the very subtle and kind of heartwarming aspect of that?
Oh, sure.
The voice of In the Footsteps of Insabanur, that little video, was George Takei, of course, from Star Trek, Sulu on Star Trek, the original series.
Yeah.
The style it was done in, Leonard Nimoy did a series of videos in the 80s about the paranormal stuff like that, kind of like the freaky deaky, like New Age History Channel stuff, it was always In Search of Something Something. And of course, Leonard Nimoy was Mr. Spock. He passed away recently. So it's kind of nice that they got George Takei in there to kind of, as an homage to Leonard Nimoy's OG In the Search of videos.
Okay, see, that's something I didn't know. Man, you learned
Heartwarming
something
for any
new.
of you other Trekkies out there. So
Yeah.
no Trekkers.
Trekker, excuse me.
Trek.
Trekkers.
Oh, but
Trekkers.
like
Trekkers.
going off, just going into this
Trekkheads.
Apocalypse trailer though. I mean, recently Scoopmaster El Mayimba had said that Wolverine was going to show up in this one. So, and this is going to be their last trailer too. Like this will run in front of Civil War, obviously, and then
Yeah. Did they ever show the trailer at CinemaCon?
yeah, but like people said that Wolverine wasn't in that one. Like it was just a different thing. I don't know.
Huh.
I think if Wolverine's going to be in this movie, it's not going to be for very long.
No.
I don't think he'll, if even at all, I don't think his role would be significant. It would probably be more of maybe a little more extended than the one he had in First Class, where he was just there for a quip, and then, but I don't know. This would be the second movie that he's not in. Moving forward in the Fox X-Men universe.
Yeah.
I think that he'll be there. I know that they're keeping hush hush about it, but they haven't denied it that he's not in the movie either.
Well, my thing is, if it was a cameo, I don't think they'd be putting him in the trailer. So to me, I think it's for a while I was thinking he would probably have like a "Go fuck yourself" cameo, but now it looks like he's going to have a little bit of a bigger role if they're putting him in the trailer. So I think honestly, it would be because do you guys remember back in like late 2013, probably early 2014, close to then. When they first started talking about this movie, they were like, "Oh, Apocalypse is going to be the next one," and they started speculating, like, "Oh, what's it going to be about?" And the original rumor was that Wolverine was going to be the Horseman of Death.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was going to be a very, very difficult, like literally just an unkillable machine to go up against Xavier's team. How cool would it be if, like, after Apocalypse is kind of beaten in the first wave, he brings out and is like, guess I've got to, bring out like a secret weapon or something like that, and it's Jackman's Wolverine as like, and everyone's like, fuck.
I still wanted Death to be Darwin, because that would have made the most sense, and because he should have never fucking died.
Dude, why did Darwin die?
Because poor writing killed him.
He says, dude, that's a meme now when he says, "Adapt to this."
that was Bryan Singer. I almost guarantee he helped co-write that movie. So.
He helped kill the black guy.
That was stupid.
Yeah.
You would have been a great member of like the team because he wasn't that bad in the movie.
No, you can clearly tell the stuff that is Matthew Vaughn's and the stuff that is Bryan Singer's.
Someone did read their books.
It's one of the best, and it's one of my favorite X-Men movies.
It is really low-key. Like, it is not just my favorite X-Men movie. It is, like, my favorite comic book movie. I don't know why.
Well, that's our
like, it's one of those that I literally just have to sit down and watch every time it comes on TV. Like, wow. I just literally, if I start it, I've got to sit through it.
Dude, that's like Man of Steel for me.
It had some weak points.
Your favorite movie is
like,
The Dark
I didn't
Knight
like
Rises.
the way they handled Sebastian Shaw in that movie.
Me either, but I mean, it was Kevin Bacon pulled it off, and I didn't think he was going to. But
and you can really tell the difference in visions between the two directors.
Yes.
Matthew Vaughn absolutely had a clear cut and a completely different idea of what the X-Men were going to be. And Bryan Singer was like, "Oh, I'm taking back over," and it's like, "Oh, great, here we go again."
Give it back to me.
Back to the all black 2000 suits. I see.
Are you doing your Kevin Hart, Will?
I don't know what that
your little
was.
Kevin Hart. No.
I saw someone actually do their own X-Men costumes that incorporate the yellow and the black type of leather look. And I'm like, this is what fucking Bryan Singer should have done. Like,
people, please bear with us. It is 4:20 today. Okay.
Continue.
If there's no more thoughts
I was gonna say to me it makes sense to even just put Wolverine in Apocalypse because they want to hype up that this is Hugh Jackman's last ride. Like he's done after Wolverine 3. So
yeah,
that's actually
and then
the
we're gonna
interesting
get X-23 and the Dark Phoenix saga.
I've got more to say about Wolverine 3 once we get to the X-23 thing, because I touched on it in the news video today, or news video on Wednesday for everybody listening on Friday when this comes out. Just watching the development of Wolverine 3 has been ridiculous, but I'll talk more about that later.
We should move on to that first, because it's like.
Do you want to jump to that before Doctor Strange?
I guess we can, since we're talking about the Fox.
Well, it's the same
stuff,
universe.
So continue.
Yeah, go ahead and lead with us, CJ.
I was just going to say the progression of this movie has been pretty incredible, because it went from we weren't knowing, like we kind of figured Hugh Jackman, he's over 50 now, or he's at least 50. He's been playing the role since 1999. He's got to be done sometime soon, and then Wolverine 3 is announced, and it's the one last ride, and we don't know what it's going to be. But out of SDCC last year, the hot rumor was that it was going to be Old Man Logan, and everyone's thinking, shit, this is going to happen way in the future, maybe still in the original Singer timeline, and not the new and improved Singer timeline. But then, and so that's all we heard, and finally we got the confirmation that it is Old Man Logan, and they finished the script, and they're getting ready. And then it comes out that Professor X is going to be in the movie. Then it comes out that, and it's Patrick Stewart's Professor X, so it happens way in the future, not between Apocalypse and I guess the OG X-Men 2000. Then it comes out that the villain is going to like work for a government agency, and it's not going to be even somebody that kind of fills the shoes of the Hulk family and Red Skull. And then even further down the line, today it comes out that X-23 might be in the movie. So what does this movie become? Is it still Old Man Logan or
no? I don't think from the beginning it was ever going to be Old Man Logan.
I think it is like an amalgam of stories, but like I think it mostly is Old Man Logan, like because it's supposed to be like a super futuristic timeline.
True.
The thing is like Days of Future Past was a super futuristic timeline. I don't.
No, they retcon the retcon.
I don't want to see another old man. Like we realize that we technically got Old Man Logan in Days of Future Past. I mean, by the time Days of Future Past happens in the comics, he's kind of an old man to begin with.
He's a senior citizen.
No, but they fixed all that. Remember, they retconned that timeline.
Yes, they did retcon that timeline. So
see, that's going to be the tough thing is explaining how the future gets so fucked up. Still
moving, moving forward. It's like what the fuck? Okay, unless they go a super ballsy route and be like some weird like King the Conqueror like just fucks the timeline up and shoots them forward in the future. I don't think they're going to go that route and use Kang. However, that would be cool, and I think it would be a cool explanation. It would Fox, would actually be acknowledging their other characters that they own instead of letting
like
them
the Badoon.
Rot away. Like the Badoon and Galactus and all that stuff. And Kang I think would be a cool way to kind of explain the timeline and what's going on, and it's messed up
and they can tie that to Fant Four Stick too.
I mean they could. I don't
Kang
think that they
over
will.
Fox?
They have King the Conqueror, yes. Sadly, they do because they also have Rom Space Knight. Those are two characters that James Gunn really wants to use for Guardians of the Galaxy, and he can't. So
they have the Super Scroll too.
I don't know how are things going to be so messed up again in Wolverine 3 or Old Man Logan or whatever you want to call it. I personally don't really want it to be called Old Man Logan because no matter how close you get it, it's not going to be Old Man Logan.
I don't think they're going to call it.
Well, it's called Wolverine.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with Age of Ultron and Civil War, though.
Like,
well, I don't even think they'd call it like Old Man Logan, like just because. I mean, I feel like Jackman would be like, "Hey guys, let's cool it. I'm only 50." And
yeah,
be like, shit, all right,
Grandpa
please.
Logan. I'm not that old.
I
don't think it's even kind of what Nick is was saying. I don't think it's going to even have a subtitle.
It's just going to be Wolverine with the 3 claw thing or whatever.
Yeah,
but
and honestly, I think I would be completely okay with that.
But I want to see that. I want to see an Old Man Logan movie though, like to see Hugh Jackman aged up. Like if they made him look older, like they had him in a Western outfit, that'd be awesome.
If they were going to do that and
they
want
could,
to
it's not
explain
hard.
it, and they want to explain it in a timeline, their best way is just to make it an Elseworld. No, seriously, I truly think that if they're going to do that movie and want to do it without messing with the other movies' continuities and timelines, and if they're not going to use Kang, then just make it very, very, very apparent that this is an alternate reality. It's not the same Logan that was in the past X-Men movies.
Or what if they made it so that this Wolverine movie takes place in the old timeline? Like it just kept going.
The issue is in the old timeline everyone's dead.
Yeah, that was Days of Future Past timeline.
No, the old timeline.
That's when they loop in Dark Phoenix Saga with it. That's when everything gets weird.
Well, it doesn't matter. They can just retcon everything.
You're talking about the one exactly where Professor X comes back as a black man. I don't want Old Man Logan taking place in that universe.
Now, wait. This could be hilarious. Who would you cast as Professor X?
Dude, Sam
wait,
Jackson.
there's a good chance of comedy here. My
who's
biggest question
black
is
in English?
Sam Jackson, dude, do it.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Actually,
No.
yeah.
Idris
He's
Elba.
black with an English accent.
Okay, maybe, but
But he's too busy being the next James Bond. My biggest question is for Old Man Logan. Part of it centers around this road trip with Logan and Hawkeye, a blind Hawkeye. Who is he road tripping with? Is he road tripping with Professor X or X-23?
X-23.
Who knows?
No, Professor X, dude. He's in
But
that
like
hover
baby
chair.
baby girl X-23, who hasn't really tapped
like
into her powers yet.
When in the early development of the script, the writer was talking about having Cyclops stand in for Hawkeye, because Cyclops hasn't been treated very fairly over the years in comics and in the movies
By anybody.
Anybody. He's been screwed over multiple times. Like poor Scott. I actually feel bad. I don't like him, but I feel bad for him. I don't think he deserves to be well written, and he's just not for some reason. People just seem to not like him.
He's been more screwed than a $5 whore.
He really, really has been. So I think, honestly, it would be the cool way. Actually, okay, here's what I think would be cool. Instead of having have like your Hulks and your Red Skulls and stuff like that, what if like a twist is that Professor X is actually the bad guy? He's like the kingpin of that time and that place.
That would be
I think that would be interesting, and him and Cyclops have to take him down.
See, that's the thing somebody suggested instead of like blind Hawkeye, you could have like Cyclops who's lost his glasses and has to keep his eyes closed the entire time.
That's such a cop out.
That's sick.
But I like. It is sick. It is sick, but it's a cop out.
It is a cop out.
That's such a cop out.
But it's fantastic.
Well, we didn't even touch on X-23 in the movie. We talked about Old Man Logan storyline potential the whole time.
You guys hyped for X-23 though?
Depends how they do her.
I want to be the new Wolverine.
See, that's what I suggested, was maybe they're having her in here because she can take up the mantle. The only issue is it's not in the timeline.
It's in an alternate
Patrick
future.
Stewart's there. Yep.
Way
to go, guys.
No, but it's okay because Bryan Singer says continuity doesn't matter according to Bryan Singer. He's like,
would you say Bryan Singer's slogan is creativity over continuity?
He is a full supporter of cock. Yes.
He is Didio, yes. Son of Didio.
Luke, that's rude. He is bisexual.
When I said cock, I meant COC, creativity over continuity, not the other cock. Yep. I meant that cock.
I'd like to imagine that you actually just realized that it might be offensive to some people and just pulled that out of your ass. Like you just were like, "Oh shit, what do I do?"
Well, you know what? People are overly sensitive. I don't like to offend anybody. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm an open book. I don't, but you know what? I said cock. Get over it. Cock. I'll say it five more times.
I was just fucking with you. I didn't know if you would catch it or not.
Anyways, okay. Well, I guess moving on to our next topic, since we spent a lot of time on that one. So the writer of Doctor Strange kind of talks the craziness of the film and how it's going to be, and he pretty much said, like, look, guys, what we saw in the trailer isn't the entire movie. I think people are taking cues and they're comparing it to other, past film franchises.
Yeah, it looks like Batman Begins. Why are they ripping
it off? Batman Begins.
Nolan should call his lawyers, guys.
God, are we going to bring this in? All right.
Dude, Nolan.
So, no.
Big guy.
No. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. You can't actually compare that to Inception. There is no possible fucking way that you can compare that. The only way you can compare that is in that,
like Inception
isn't that one frame in Doctor Strange, and guess what? You're taking one frame from Inception where they actually kind of look similar a little bit. They don't, Inception, if you've ever watched it, is about a dream world. Doctor Strange is about warping your reality. Okay, I'm going to talk about that scene in the trailer specifically. When you see him falling through the sky and you see it looks like New York is splitting, that's not one New York. Like Inception, like in Inception, that would have been one New York folding in on itself. What we saw in the Doctor Strange trailer was like 5 different New Yorks from 5 different realities that exist. That's what that was. If you look closely, even some of the buildings look different. In one, you can see where the Freedom Tower is. Okay, so 9/11 happened in that New York. In the other, though, there was not a Freedom Tower, implying that 9/11 didn't happen in that reality. I don't know if you guys actually caught that in the trailer, but that is there.
I definitely did not.
Yes. See, I sat there and analyzed it, and I'm like, oh, it's like Inception. You should sue Christopher Nolan. Shut the fuck up. No. People don't understand. Like when it says,
he went
when it clearly
down.
says in the movie, change your reality. Doctor Strange deals with the multiverse. This is where they're going. Kevin Feige himself says, "Look, guys, we're taking this in a whole new direction. He said our version of the supernatural is going to be quantum mechanics, string theory, the multiverse, all this craziness. That's what's happening in the movie. It's not this Inception New York folding in on itself. That's not what that was. You can't compare it to Inception. They are completely two different film franchises that have nothing to do with each other."
Wow.
Like
Luke
nothing.
feels strongly.
Dude, so they're ripping off Batman.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's his boy Steven. Don't fuck with Steven.
I'm sorry. I had to speak my mind on that. I really did, because that really angers me that people were actually making that much of a fuss about it on the internet. Oh, it looks too much like Batman Begins. It looks... You know what? Okay. It's like I told you earlier, Nick. David Goyer had a script at New Line for Doctor Strange. Okay? That script got rejected. He got hired by WB. What did he do? He literally changed Stephen Strange to Bruce Wayne. Bam. Batman Begins. I'm not even kidding. That's literally what happened. That's why they look so much alike.
All right.
What are your guys' thoughts before I get angry?
Dude, BVS sucks.
What are you talking about, man? Nick, are you telling me that wasn't Kino?
No, only parts. Like
Only parts. Only the intro and the outro.
The intro and the outro are pottery.
Yeah,
Pottery Barn. I'm still hyped for Doctor Strange. I'm really interested in the craziness. I think it's got to be like out there. Like I want it to be full blown. Like Ant-Man kind of scratched the surface. Like let's go full fucking bore, dude. Let's do it. Chiwetel Ejiofor is a boss. That's it.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Will, what are your thoughts, man?
12 years
how
of
exactly are you
fucking
looking
sorcery.
forward to this
I
movie?
mean, I'm not worried about Doctor Strange at all. When I watched the trailer, though, I'm like, oh, this looks weird as shit. And that's all I really took from it. I didn't, overanalyze or overthink it. I didn't really even think about the Inception thing that much. I'm like, oh, shit, it's a city on top of itself. But other than
I
that,
watched...
it's kind of...
I watched
It's not
several,
that deep, guys. It's not that deep.
You watch the reactors.
The whole purpose of the trailer was to catch intrigue. It wasn't meant to blow us away. It's like...
That is literally a teaser trailer.
Yeah. It did its job as a teaser trailer. It dealt heavily with his origin. You didn't see Doctor Strange in that trailer using any magic of any kind. But we've heard from multiple sources that Doctor Strange does use magic multiple times, and they said they're not shying away from these crazy names and these symbols that he likes to spew out before, like when he's casting a spell or something. Like they're not shying away from that. So the craziness of Doctor Strange's world will be in the movie. I have 100% faith in that.
No, but Feige said it's science-based.
No, he didn't.
Or is
say
it
it's
based
science-based.
science?
He said it's based science, and he said theoretical physics is what
Fuck
he
yeah,
said.
based science.
No, dude, it's not magic. It's science.
Well, it's manipulating that science more directly than is actually
It's
physically
alchemy.
possible. So I'd say that's pretty much magic.
Yes,
It's alchemy,
But
and theoretical physics.
with that,
concept of equivalent.
With that, we are going into a lightning round.
round of questions.
The lightning round of questions. So we
We've
have
got
some viewer
1, 2,
questions
3,
on our
4, 5,
Yeah.
6.
So on our last episode, some of you guys had asked some questions, and so we felt best that instead of answering all of them in the comments, we actually wanted to do it here on the show. So now I think that we got all of our main topics out of the way. We're just going to go ahead and go around real quick, and I'm going to ask you guys what are your thoughts on some of these questions, and you guys are going to answer them. No more than 30 seconds on the answers, though. Okay, so first up...
30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, so first question we have is thoughts on a Blue Marvel film and how he would best be integrated into the films. Okay, William, what is your thoughts on this?
You go to the black guy first.
I do go to the black guy.
Of course. the other mixed guy. I'd be all for it. It'd be a pretty easy piece to do. It's just an adaptation of his trade paperback story, which involves... It's basically someone better than Superman almost igniting a race war in the 50s and how he has to stop being the superhero. then he can just have his resurgence again. Like, he's extremely smart, extremely powerful. So I'd be
William,
totally
this is
down
your
for
10
that,
second
like,
warning.
Phase 4. Yeah, it'd be a dope ass
CJ.
period piece.
And CJ.
When they say in the films, do they mean like the MCU?
I believe they mean the MCU.
I'm assuming
Does
so.
Marvel Studios have the Blue Marvel?
I believe
no,
they
actually,
do.
Fox does.
Really?
They should.
Yeah.
Do they really?
No,
No
fucking
way.
way.
No way they
Okay,
went in
well-
like the mid '90s and were like, you know who we want to develop a movie.
Wait,
for?
no, Blue
We're
Marvel
gonna
wasn't
make a Blue
around in the
Marvel
mid
movie.
90s. He's a 2005 character.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is why it reverts to Fox immediately.
He wasn't
Confirmed.
a mutant though.
So if it's gonna be MCU, I'm sure Nick is just taking the piss. If it's gonna be an MCU movie, how I do it is because I agree it would be a dope ass period piece, and if you make it set in like the 40s or 50s, that's perfect. I would do it kind of centered around this new, like, you know, kind of. I would basically take that, fast forward it to the Black Lives Matter thing that's going on right now, and just do the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think that Blue
Yeah.
Marvel could hold his own as a film, though. I think he would be better integrated, you know, with a team of people.
He might
Yeah.
sadly be Vertigo film universe, the Vertigo cinematic universe tier, but
Yeah.
oh well.
Yep. Okay, and we're moving on to our next question.
Saint Nicholas didn't get to offer his opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. I am sorry. What are
Good
your
old
thoughts on Blue
Saint
Marvel?
Nick.
Okay, and moving on. Okay, next question.
Yeah.
Do you think the character Moon Knight will be a movie or a Netflix show? Which service his character best? Which would service his character best? And if they chose to do a movie, who do you think would direct it? Okay, we're gonna go CJ. What are your thoughts?
I'm doing 2 words here, Netflix show.
Okay, all right. And who would you like to direct?
Oh, that's a little tough. Jesus. There's a movie... God, I honestly can't... I mean, Tarantino would be tight just because of the kind of, like, insanity of it. We were talking about Tarantino earlier. There was that weird, trippy-ass movie with James McAvoy a couple
Tarantino?
of years ago. Do you remember who directed that off the top of your head? Like, anybody know? I know it's a weird one. It was a very strange
it was a
movie.
UA Bowl.
Yui Bowl, for
Oh
sure.
man, really?
Fuck no.
No, it was not. No way.
There was no way that was an Uwe Ball movie.
It
Don't be
was too good to be an
sadistic.
Uwe Ball movie. But hold on, shit. James McAvoy. This was back
Speaking
in like 2015.
speaking of Uwe Ball, have you guys
Filth.
seen that video where he just like
No,
rips?
trance.
He just rips on the Marvel universe because he's so salty
Yeah.
that he can't direct top tier movies.
Trance. Danny Boyle is who I'd get because Danny Boyle directed Trance.
Oh.
And it's basically just about being, you know, insane and drugged up. So I think he's also the guy that. Well, I don't know. I think he's the guy that did Train Spotting. So yes, I want him to do a Moon Knight movie.
I mean, Moon Knight does exist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
He wasn't name dropped specifically, but in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, they did mention him. So, okay, William, what are your thoughts?
Again, I'm definitely we've been saying it since like the podcast started. Is Marvel Knights Moon Knight. Just have him be on a Netflix show so you can get that Marvel Knights team together. If I had to pick a director for it, I would definitely want, since you probably can't get Quentin Tarantino, I'd say Robert Rodriguez, because the From Dusk Till Dawn movie and show are both the shit, and they work really close
Okay.
together, and they can make blood and like work well, and he's a good storyteller. And dynamic wise, it could work for him. He could pull off like that dark character really well. He handles vampires well too, so shit, give him Blade one.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, well, Nicholas.
Yeah.
I think Moon Knight is in development at Netflix, so I think that would work better for that character. But yeah, also I wanted to say both of these questions come from Sean Zamir FFXV,
Oh, okay.
who also
Who was the-
comments a lot.
Who was the Blue Marvel movie?
It was him too.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So you get 2 in one
Sweet.
show. Wow.
Yeah, way to go. This is
Double
what
dipper.
happens when you actually ask questions. We answer.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm
respond.
gonna give my thoughts on this real quick. So Moon Knight, I think that he does deserve a Netflix format. However, I think doing a Netflix movie would suit him best. Doing a Moon Knight television show. So you could drag his story out through 10 or 13 episodes. However, I think that it would be cool to start seeing Moon Knight, or just Netflix movies in general. And I think Moon Knight would be really cool done in that format, like a 2.5 hour long movie. I think would be perfect, and you could tell the origin of him, because his origin is pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty out there.
It's crazy.
So I think that, yeah, I think it would be really, really cool. But all right, I think if we're done on this Moon Knight, we're gonna move on to our next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
What characters will die in Infinity War? Avengers roster change after Infinity War. Okay.
And the Black Order in Infinity War.
And the Black Order in Infinity War. All this other stuff. Was that a part of the same question with the female Thor?
Female Thor was a different question. I just said tie it into it because that works with the roster turnover thing. Right.
Yeah, okay. Well, this other question, too, is what if we get a female Thor after the restart of the MCU after Infinity War? So, Nick, what are some of your thoughts on, like, who do you think is going to die in Infinity War, and how do you think the roster is going to change? Do you think that we're going to get, like, the new Avengers, or it's going to be sort of like an amalgamation of all new, all different? I don't know. What direction do you think they're going to go in?
I think definitely that Steve Rogers will probably die. And maybe... Well, no. Probably not Iron Man, but, like... I don't know. I don't think many main characters that we know will die, actually, apart from, like, Cap, but that's it. I think that the new roster will definitely include Bucky, too. And Spider-Man, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
CJ, what are your thoughts?
So, I think what characters will die... I actually am going to take maybe a strange stance here. The only person that I think is going to die is Vision. Because Vision, of course, has his stone in his head that is going to have to come out, and unless they can figure out a way to, like, he's probably going to come back to life by the end of the movie when they disassemble the Infinity Gauntlet. But the other thing is, like, if anybody actually died, you kind of just can pull like a Secret Words God mode Reed Richards and just say, bringing him back to life. But because you can literally bend reality to your will. You could bring them back to life and then disassemble the gauntlet, give Vision back his stone. I think Steve Rogers will have, I don't know if he dies in Civil War yet or not. I haven't seen the movie. If he does, I imagine he'll be brought back by the gauntlet somehow, and he might fade away after the gauntlet. You could... I don't know how that's going to happen, but I think the original Avengers team that was formed for the 2012 movie is done. After Thor, whether you say he's just going to go off and be King Thor, is done. Iron Man, whether he steps into, like, the role of not really director of S.H.I.E.L.D., but kind of stays in that kind of liaison mode where he'll just casually wander into other people's movies. He's done. Black Widow might retire. Hawkeye's going to be dead or retired. Everyone is just done. Hulk is maybe working out his anger somewhere with Scarlett Johansson. But the new team will probably be... It could be a female Thor. You could see Thor become King Thor and then maybe give up the hammer to someone else, potentially, to answer that question. It'll probably be a lot like the new Avengers team going into Infinity War Part 1, which is reportedly Bucky, Cap, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Black Panther, and the Vision and Scarlet Witch. So I think that might be the new team. But
Captain Marvel, bro.
Black Order in Infinity War, hopefully, so it's not just 60 people charging at one guy.
I don't think that the movie's going to quite be like that.
Are you sure?
Personally, I think that Vision will actually die in the beginning of Part 1. I truly think that
no, at the
he's
end
going to be around.
No, he's the person that Thanos kills, so they know he's serious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in the beginning,
exactly. I would say Act 2
is it possible,
Part 1 or Act 3. He's the big like Empire Strikes Back cliffhanger.
Or is it possible that we're not even going to necessarily see Thanos in Part 1, and rather we'll see kind of an amalgamation of the Black Order?
Well,
because next time, you see, Feige says next time that we see Thanos, he's not going to be messing around.
So here's what I think happens. So Thanos at the end of Age of Ultron has the glove, the love glove, and then I think the first movie is going to be, of course, him assembling the stones, and that's going to culminate in a final battle with the Avengers. And he's going to kind of reveal that they've fallen right for his trap because they brought Vision right to him. He's going to kill Vision, take the stone. Whether it's the Black Order helping him get the stones in the beginning and you don't actually see him, I think that's the way it's going to happen. Is it's going to be the Black Order, and then so this big final battle. Thanos finally shows up and just kicks complete ass, dismantles the entire team, grabs Vision by the neck, and like just digs the stone out of his forehead with his fingers, and then drops Vision to the ground, and then everybody's like, "Oh shit!" And then it cuts to black, and
yeah. Okay, all right. Well, that's very interesting.
There you go, fan fiction right there.
I kind of hope you're right. CJ is actually pretty spot on with his theories and speculations, so we'll see how that goes in a few years, CJ. I will refer back to this same episode.
We need to go find that episode where apparently I predicted some shit about Baron Zemo. But
you were 100% spot on about that.
I need to go find that episode. It's not that I don't believe you. I just like to revel in my correctness.
William, what are your thoughts on all of this, bud?
I guess since CJ had to be so long-winded with his damn answer.
Excuse me, yes.
But I kind of agree with a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure that Cap is either going to go away or retire or some shit, and we're going to have Bucky. We're definitely probably going to get a new Avengers team, which I think it might actually... We'll probably get replacements for each character, so instead of Tony, we'll have Black Panther and Doctor Strange. Maybe we'll get Valkyrie on the team from Ragnarok, if that rumor about Tessa Thompson is what I hope it is.
Yep.
Definitely going to see Spider-Man on there. I do feel like Vision's definitely going to die, just have that gemstone ripped out of his head. And, like, Cap's probably going to... That's probably going to when Cap's shields break. Tony's probably going to move to a more... Yeah, probably a more directorial position. Thor's going to go to Asgard. And it's just going to be the new squadron. And then we're going to probably get into Phase 4 where they start kind of... Yeah, get a little Young Avengers team. Or I feel like it's going to go more an Ultimates route. Like, they're going to change the name, too.
That'll
like,
keep Nick watching into the 2020s.
And
yeah, we're gonna get Avengers 4 Ultimatum.
Oh man, that would be interesting. Okay, one last question for you guys.
For Nick,
do you
let's
think,
have Nick answer. Oh,
do you think that Thanos will die in the movie?
I think he'll be warped out of reality.
Okay, do you think that he'll be thrusted into the not negative zone, like he is in the comics?
If they do kill him, I want them to kill him the way they did in the Infinity War tie-in book that they had for Secret Wars, which was badass, where a little girl outsmarted Thanos by making a false, whatever the stone was that's in Vision's head. I think a false reality stone, and an entirely false Infinity Gauntlet. So she had the real one and actually obliterated him from existence into nothing but bones and ash, where he deteriorated, and she just took the rest of the glove. It was one of the most creative things I've ever seen someone do to take out like a not cosmic, but like a galactic level threat. That's the only way I'd want them to kill him if they did.
Do we actually? Can I pitch this last question to Nick because he hadn't answered the last two?
Sure.
Nick, can you explain what Cape Kino is?
Memes.
Dude, memes. LMAO.
Oh yeah, also those last three questions about like Infinity War were from Young Money, by the way, too.
Thank you, Young Money.
Thank you, Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne is commenting on our podcast confirmed.
I love his Samsung Galaxy commercials. The new ones actually just kill me every time.
I personally think, real quick, that Thanos will be thrusted into the Cancerverse.
The Cancerverse.
Yes, I think that he will be thrown into the Cancerverse. I don't think that he'll truly die.
Let him go deal with Singer's X-Men.
Yeah, let him go deal with Singer's X-Men in the Cancerverse. I think that that's what's going to happen. I don't think... Now, how and who's going to do it, I think it's either going to be Cap or Tony
did it.
that do it. I don't think it's going to be Doctor Strange.
If anything,
I think Doctor Strange will die.
No, I'm going to call my shot now. I think it's Wanda.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. You're thinking...
Wanda goes in part 2. Vision in 1, Wanda in 2.
All right, guys. Everybody that's listening, and including us, we have to refer back to this episode, like when we find out more shit on Infinity War, because I want to see how correct CJ is with all of this.
Dude, I'm gonna be on the set of Infinity War by the time this comes around.
Right?
Yeah, because Because you know when Vision dies, she's gonna be like, no, and it's gonna like cut to black.
Yep.
It's gonna be slow motion. We're just gonna hear her
minutes.
screaming in the background, and then but yeah, let's finish it out.
Yeah. So okay, guys, we're out of questions this time. So
What? There's one more.
Well, I want to do the last one.
there. Okay.
We have to do
All right.
lightning round though, like literally, like.
Okay.
I can be fast.
This question comes from Neil, and this will be our final question.
Neil, we got to answer Neil's question. He's a long time listener, actually.
That is true. Thank you, Neil, for joining in every week, bud. We really appreciate it. Okay. This question is in regards to the MCU. Do you think that if Feige can work out the Runaways, given most are mutants, we'll get a movie or live-action show based on them? Personally, I think Runaways can work really well for either format, especially if Brian K. Vaughan is assisting with the effort. Okay, so thanks again for the question. Will, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I'll be quick. I'm not gonna give my whole spiel about why I love the Runaways, but I do think it could work in live action. If they do it, they're probably gonna freeform it like they're doing with Cloak and Dagger and tie them into it and get that thing going. Because you know how you have Marvel's Most Wanted coming out, you got that unannounced show and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC. They're gonna try to grow it on freeform, and that's how they're gonna do it. Plus, they're teenagers, so it will actually fit and it'll make sense. And if they decide to do
Before we had
Cloak and Dagger, it'll fit. So I'd be all for it, basically.
Before we had the freeform Marvel Cinematic Universe, I was definitely going to say, like, you know, I was actually thinking when people would ask about the Runaways, I think I had said before, like, it'll probably be like a TV show. But I was thinking ABC before now. But now that we've got freeform, I completely agree with Will.
Yeah. Okay.
It lends itself to that format.
True.
Yeah.
Which it probably will.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Nick, are you hype at all for the Runaways?
I don't know a lot about them, but I know that there's a script for a film sitting in the Disney vault. So
really,
if anything, that would get picked up, I guess.
Which I'm not sure, you know, because you know a lot of them are mutants. How do they exactly have the Runaways? I want to know. I'm curious.
Well,
Luke, do you want to know the answer to the question?
Yes, I do.
Inhumans.
Oh, no.
Wait, no, that's a cop-out, though, because then
well,
they could just
they're
throw
the daughters
Wolverine in there and be like, he's an Inhuman, not a mutant. So
I'm telling you the
they?
truth. Well, they're not gonna like replace the characters or switch the characters. Well, they're not gonna like just make any mutant characters Inhumans. What they're gonna do is like just come up with either insert Inhuman characters or make up new ones.
I mean, okay.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
It's pretty easy to
That's
explain
true.
away because, like, one of them can do magic, the other one's an alien, one of them can shapeshift, one of them has tech powers, one of them is super intelligent. You can explain that away.
One of them's
easily
a jock,
as,
and one of them's a
like,
nerd, and
Inhuman.
one of them's the princess, and one of them's the goth.
One of them
girl.
one of them is a princess.
It's
one of
the
them
Marvel
likes Ghostbusters.
Breakfast Club,
Basically.
but not the good.
Yeah,
one,
but they
Sean
are,
Mann.
except their parents are super.
Yeah, so, yeah, that...
Yeah, it's actually really easy to write out that mutant part.
We were almost at an
Look,
hour.
Will, we know that you can talk about the Runaways for hours. However,
I'm not going
we don't
to.
all have... Yeah, I know you're not going to because we don't have that much time on our hands. So I think with all of this being said, thank you guys for submitting your questions into the comments section, and we would love for you guys to ask even more questions. So come back this week on this episode and ask us some questions. What are your guys' thoughts on some stuff?
Yeah,
and we'll try to answer them to the best of our knowledge.
We'll spend a whole 15 minutes.
Yeah, use the hashtag Ask Marvelite so we can sift through them
Marvelite.
easier.
There you go.
Yeah, if you guys wanted to, you know, hashtag Ask Marvelite, even on Twitter would be great.
Well,
And
on
kinda
Twitter,
tag-
even on YouTube, I think, because if you put
Yeah.
that at the beginning of your question, it'll make it a lot easier for us
Yeah.
to find them. Like we didn't have this Runaways question in the very beginning, and we kind of added it afterwards. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. This has been another episode of the Marvelite Podcast. I am your host, Luke, and I'm joined with Will, CJ, and Nick.
Bye.
We will catch you guys next week.
420 praise it.
BVS sucks.